On Catalina, as previously mentioned. Let's jump into game number 2 between Deer and Life. Up here in the north, in the red, the Protoss player, he's down 0-1 now. It is Deer. Yep, that's him.
That's Deer. And here in the south, it's going to be KT Life. Taking that first game, taking it with ease. Deer had no answer for that Viper timing, and man, it was just very clean execution. And I mean, only one Colossus to pull has just made it just a little too easy for him, I think.
Yeah. I mean, even without the Vipers, just the sheer number of units that Life had at that moment in time, like his macro was pretty much impeccable. He basically got to max as fast as you possibly can as a Zerg, and then he just walked across the map and killed him. Whereas Deer, not quite the same effect. You know, you were mentioning he was teching to High Templar possibly for the Vipers that he did see on the Hive, but it was like a little bit too late. But he also only had one Colossus. If he had maybe like 2 or 3 Colossus, well, you know, maybe he would have had a bit of a better fight. Of course, there were the Vipers in the mix.
Yeah.
But
it's a bit of a hard one from that situation. I mean, he didn't really get the perfect force fields off either that he really needed.
Yeah, he kind of fought in like an awkward angle as well.
He was just not expecting it whatsoever. He was completely caught out. Hopefully he can take that from his, burn that from his memory for now and deal with the game on Catalina. And he's going to go for that Nexus first this time.
Yeah, and look at this. Life luckily does get the scout off in the correct direction, so he's going to go ahead and throw down that second hatch before pool. Going to go greedy on the economy side of things once again. Deer as well will get the scout. He did notice that the Overlord did come from the south, so a pretty easy scout there. Going to go into the main base. See the pool timing. Probably know that there is a third hatchery on the way.
Yeah, he knows for sure by this point. And he definitely got the short end of the stick. Life getting pretty lucky with that Overlord scout. I mean, 50% chance you're going to get it right. But if you do get it right and you do see that Nexus first, easiest double hatch of your life. And you know you're safe. You know there's no way you're going to be taking any sort of damage early on. So you can just drone up like a crazy person.
Yeah. That's got to be a good feeling as a Zerg, isn't it, Moonglade?
That is the best feeling, Veldas. This is the best way you can start this off, man.
Yeah, man.
You just get to drone, and don't worry about a thing. As we go into this early game, have to wait and see. Uh-oh. Use that term again.
I didn't even notice. I'm like, oh, what's wrong?
Oh.
What did you see? Like,
but I think we are going to see Stargate perhaps from Deer again. We are seeing the mineral, the income. No, not yet. Not yet. Obviously, you're going to get that Starcraft first. But I'm starting to see a trend with Deer, and he does love that Stargate opening. He did it so well in the last game with Oracles. He did so much damage. That's like an abnormal amount of damage you get from one Oracle. Life obviously was not expecting that whatsoever. And will he do it again is the next question.
Yeah. I just feel like he needs to kind of learn from last game and say, okay, I can do that damage, but I need a follow-up. Is there going to be a timing? Or am I going to tech to like 5 million things and lose to a timing from Life? Like,
well, Nimbus is the map where you can do some sort of a timing. You can do some sort of all-in. We have seen it before, but Deer choosing not to. Choosing to be very greedy and go for the late game. But you just need to scout a little bit better. And maybe he will this time, though. I think the Overlord will have an idea about it as he flies on in. He's going to lose the Overlord, but he gets to see the Stargate.
He knows everything that's coming his way now, and he's not going to take the same damage that he did last game, that's for sure. He's going to come in with the Surgling and even see the second, or rather the third and fourth gases coming down here at the natural. Going to see the timing of that. So he pretty much sees exactly everything that Deer is doing at this moment in time.
Yeah, he did. Deer even delayed on the Oracle, but still the Ling was in there, and I think he even saw that it was going to be an Oracle. So we should see spores coming down pretty soon. There they go. First one, second one, and third one in a moment. Live going to be completely immune to this kind of damage.
Yep. So many drones coming his way. This is what you were talking about, man. You just keep it in that key, making as many drones as possible. We see a probe actually going for another pretty fast third base, kind of similar to what he did in the last game. As the Oracle moves out, just put on the pressure and open up some space for yourself to get that third base.
Yeah, and we don't see any Forge behind this either. Instead, he's going to be making a Void Ray to defend early on.
Okay.
And, I mean, not a bad idea considering what he saw last game. He saw no Speedlings at all last game. So he's like, maybe Life is going to do the same thing, so I should just play even greedier and not try and be all defensive-like. Ooh.
Getting a lot of damage, man. You were talking about Deer's Micro with these Oracles. You weren't kidding.
I didn't joke about that, man. That's nasty stuff. That is, 6 kills once again. He's pretty much paid for himself, and he's keeping it alive. All he's got to do is scout the next step in Life's plan.
Well, this is already an obscene amount of drones. He's gone up to over 70 now. I think it's going to end up there. Before he made those 2 buildings, it was going up to like 71, but he's going to end up here around 68, 67. Oracle still getting damage done. 2 more drone kills.
Look at this. It's essentially the same build order as well.
Yeah, same timing.
Yeah, it really is. I would be surprised if we don't see him go for it. Maybe he wants to mix it up. This map is a bit easier to go Swarmos on. The 4th base is a little bit closer, and you kind of cut things off and defend a little bit easier. But, I mean, if it ain't broke, Valdez.
Don't fix it.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Many people have said it in the past. No one has said it as good as I have. We do have a difference in builds here for Deer. He is going pretty completely air toss. Sorry, he was. I think he just canceled a bunch of those Void Rays that he was making.
Well, man, he's got 3 Stargates.
He was making 2 Void Rays, and then he canceled them. And now he's only got 2 Void Rays, and he just put down a Twilight Council.
Interesting.
Deer showing a bit of
indecision.
Yeah.
Wastefulness, perhaps.
Definitely wastefulness. That is one word that comes into it. I guess, is he trying to hit with some kind of weird, like, funky timing that's going to catch Life? Did he see something in the base? He's like, oh, he's doing the same thing. I got to punish him. I can't go air toss. Let me
well, he did
make a bunch of gates and try to kill him.
Yeah, I think he knows it's going to be the same sort of thing. He's like, oh, crap, that's a hive. It's this early. He's going to go for the same damn strategy. And he's like, well, I went the completely wrong idea. I went for mass air units. And he's resuming them. He's like, well, I guess I'll just go mass Void Rays.
Look at all of these Hydras. They're all unscouted. I don't think Deer has any idea these are coming across the map. Oh. He's got 2 Void Rays. They're kind of in weird positions. This Oracle is going to get killed.
The biggest thing here, especially if Life attacks before it, is the charge lots. If they get done in time, then Void Ray charge lot can be like a big problem for like the Roach Hydra composition. They can crush it, especially if the Zerg is not expecting it at all, and they move across the map, they just get flattened. That is one thing that Live has to watch out for, and I mean he does have a little window of opportunity here if he wants to move across the map and get the damage done, which we might actually see him do. But the Void Ray count is getting bigger and bigger. It's getting a little bit scarier. It's 5 Void Rays, it's about to be 8. Yeah.
He has resumed production of that. I'm wondering why he did stop. Maybe just to get some more tech out there. The charge on the Twilight Council, of course. Some more gateways. But here we go. The attack is on. 2 Vipers and a huge amount of units here from the Zerg. 29 Roaches, 20 Hydras in the back to do some DPS. Already setting up a concave here is Life. Yeah. Sending some units up there towards the 3rd base. And oh my god.
Charge isn't done yet, which is the biggest thing. We are going to see some abducts onto the Void Rays. They could shut that. It's like the perfect timing for this to actually happen as well. And Life should have enough.
There's just not enough Protoss here. He's going to get flattened, man. No, this is not going to do it. You can't just make Void Rays against all these Hydras. It's not going to work. You need Colossi.
If he was given a few more minutes, he would have had what he needed. Maybe 2 more minutes, he would have had exactly what he needed for this composition. But Life just came in just way too quickly. And now we're essentially seeing the game over. Units getting warped in, but there's simply too much DPS for them to get anything done. More and more Roaches coming in. The Nexus cannon will be destroyed, and so will the economy and infrastructure. of Deer. GG.
This is such a brutal timing, man. It doesn't look like Deer has an answer for it. This could be just a quick 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised if he just did the same thing again.
This is actually way too fast.
It's going to be Overgrowth for the next map, I believe. And, I mean, that is a bit of a smaller map. I would expect Deer to not make a quick third base, especially with Life doing this build 2 times in a row. Stork has come into the booth the first time and the second time here. And he's probably talking with Deer like, okay, this time you're doing Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, time to do something a little bit different, buddy. Clearly it's
time
not working.
to make a Dark Shrine.
It seems like Life has done a bit of research against you, and he's found that Viper timings kill you completely.
Yeah. It's funny because, Life did go home for the holidays, and he is on a new team, so maybe he had less time to practice here, but it seems like you were saying, maybe he just found Deer out. Like, he figured out what Deer is going to do, and he's like, okay, well, if I just do this, I win. And we've seen it twice in a row. Deer was like, oh no, he's doing it again. Let me try to make a bunch of Void Rays, and maybe that'll kill him, but it just didn't work. The timing was too fast.
It was too fast. If it was like 1 minute more delayed, Deer's army would have been way too strong for what Life had. Life would have had to go into Swarm Host. He would have had to completely change things up. Yeah. And that army would have just got completely crushed. Trust me, I know. It's happened to me so many times. I could never get it that fast. But as it came in, it was like just in time. It was in that point where the Zealots don't have charge. They can't get on the Hydras at all. They're going down a ramp into a funnel of death. And there's just not enough Void Rays to really threaten the Hydras either, because that is the next step as well. When you get enough Void Rays, you can deal with Hydras by themselves. If there's fungal or something else as well, it changes it again, but there wasn't. So
was he teching to Storm at the same time? Did you see that? I think there was a High Templar, right?
There was High Templars. I think he was going to
He was just going for feedbacks?
I think he was going for feedbacks, but usually you will get Storm with that composition as well, maybe just a little bit later. I think maybe Deer was a little bit rushed.
Just imagine if he had like a bunch more Warpins of Zealots, and he had like a bunch of Storms as well to blanket the army. That would have been crushed.
Exactly.
Flattened.
What can Roach Hydra do against Storm? They can't do anything. You just can't do anything. You have to run and take damage. And Hydras, even if they're running through a Storm, they're just taking way too much damage for them to be useful after that. Then the Void Rays come in, clean everything up, and that sort of timing attack just completely fails. But Life is just doing it way too crisp. And this is maybe the Kesper sort of training coming in hand here.
It certainly seems that way, man.